I also feel a stretch in the piriformis and the quadratus lumborums. Ugh. So for today's workout, I started off with 40 minutes on the manual treadmill, and then went into some stretching, some like arm rotation kind of stuff. But now I'm getting, I guess, more mobility, but I guess recording worthy. So for the first exercise that I'm doing, I'm gonna do a leg elevated squat. So looks like this. With the left leg, I'm gonna try and stay on my toes the whole way through and squat down. Try to sink in, get a full stretch, and come back up. Going to go for 4 each side. It's also really hard on the quads since it's like a very isolated movement on, like the whole body weight is kind of on the quads to kind of push yourself up. I'm gonna switching sides. It's really a crazy good stretch on the hamstrings, and the contraction you feel on the quads is pretty good too. But yeah, that's the first exercise. Gonna do 5 sets of this. So for the next exercise, I'm doing skater squats. So with the safety squat bar, I have 10 pounds on each side, and I'm getting into a wide stance with my toes pointed out. I'm going into a squat, like a halfway squat, and then I'm going to slide side to side. Going for 4 each side. So for the next exercise, I'm doing cable good mornings. Doing individual handles on the cable machine. Stepping back and spreading my legs wide to the point where I feel a stretch in my groin or in the adductors. Then retracting my shoulder blades, keeping an open chest, looking up, and lowering myself while keeping a straight back, tucking my stomach in to allow room or to give room for the body to bend over. Taking account every step through that all the muscles are where they're supposed to be, that my back is straight, my shoulder blades are retracted, and then coming back up. Really good for lower back, groin, and hamstring mobility. Oof. Ugh. Oof. 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 Yeah, going only for 3 to 4 reps. I had enough at 3, I think it was. But yeah, um, gonna do this for a bit, and let's see what happens next. So, for the next exercise, I'm using, so it's one of these core trainer machines, but I'm not going to use it for its intended purposes. I'm going to modify it a little to make it really deep stretch for the hip flexors, abs, and the lats. So, here's what I'm going to do. Going to keep my leg in the intended location. So I guess I should first show what's going on. So it's meant to do this, and it's for the lower abs and hip flexors. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest my thigh on the platform and use the handle to kind of pull me up, but while suspending with, so I'm like relaxing my back leg so that my hip flexor is stretching, and then I'm looking up to exaggerate that stretch because now it kind of radiates into this entire chain. And then while in this position, I'm going to take my hand into an elbow and rotate. And then come into center and finish off with a contraction. Switch legs. Suspending the thigh. So by suspending, I mean relaxing this, so that then there's a stretch in the hip flexor. You can further exaggerate that by kind of putting your knuckles into your lower back and pressing down, and then going to take my hand to elbow and like push and rotate, rotate. Other hand out, rotate. Try to look at the palm of the other hand. Come back to center. And bam! Oh, gonna repeat that a couple of times on either side. And that's what I'm doing next. So for the next exercise, I'm doing a piriformis, a stretch strength thingy. So the piriformis is a muscle that runs on the outer side of your legs, on the glutes. So it gets stretched when your legs are bent and kind of like when you lean forward. Anyway, so the left leg is bent and I'm stepping away from the cable while holding the cable with both hands, retracting shoulder blades, keeping my neck neutral, and then slowly letting the cable pull me forward and making sure that at every step of the way through that I'm relaxing any muscles that are like unintentionally contracting. Tucking my stomach in to allow for more room to bend forward and slowly experiencing the stretch throughout my back into the hip, flaring out the lats and turning my wrist to further exaggerate the stretch. Trying to get my forehead to touch my knee. That's the target. If I don't get there, it's okay, but that's what I'm aiming for. I was close. Then switching legs. Ah. Doing one super long rep each side. Experiencing all the imbalances between one leg to the other. At each point during the rep, take like a self account of how each muscle is feeling. If anything is tightening up unnecessarily, then relax it, including your face. If your face is like scrunching up, try to relax it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing for now. So this next exercise is a little advanced, I would say, but some of the other stuff is pretty advanced too, but it is what it is. I've never done this before, but just experimenting. So with the safety squat bar, stepping back and going into a regular squat, and then from this position I'm going to rotate my whole body such that I can touch the plate on the platform, really opening up the hips and training the core and the obliques. I also feel a stretch in the piriformis and the quadratus lumborums. Ugh. Ah, and then just coming back up. Holy shit. Ah, feel a really good stretch in the hips. Really, yeah. Anyway, that's the last exercise before the sauna. Um, yeah, and then maybe I'll get some posing after. Probably not.